Hi there, Shauna Simon from SLS Academy, providing home stager training redesigned for tomorrow's home stagers. Today, I have a little bit of home staging business advice for you, and that is around your price list. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, I don't have a price list, that's exactly what I want to talk about. So, first and foremost, you need to set your pricing for all of your services so that you understand exactly what you're going to be offering for that service, what a client will receive for it, what it's going to cost you, and set your pricing accordingly. So you might already have an hourly rate, you might have some consultation rates. Make sure that you've clearly identified all of the services that you wish to offer and what your price structure will be. Now, when it comes to a price list, what I mean by that is I want you to create a public price list. Here's the thing. There's a couple of different schools of thought on whether or not you should post your pricing online. I personally am a very strong advocate that you should. You absolutely should be providing some pricing to people online. Here's why. There are a ton of websites out there now. When I began my home staging business back in 2008, there were not nearly as many websites. And I'm not just talking home staging websites, I'm talking websites, period, out there online. We spend way more time on the internet now than we ever did 10 years ago. But with that, it means that we have a lot of noise when we're on the internet. So we want to make sure that when we go to a website, we can easily capture the information that we're looking for. So I understand sometimes people decide they don't want to list their pricing online because they want the clients to contact them so they can have a conversation with them. Fair enough. I get it. That's your best sales technique sometimes is having that conversation, that one-on-one conversation. But here's the thing that you're missing out on if you don't put that pricing on your website. You are likely to miss that initial call. They may decide not to call you, and instead they're going to contact the person who did list their pricing online. It does not mean that they are price shopping per se. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to call the cheapest person. But what often happens, especially with a service like home staging, is that the person who's looking for your services may not have any idea what they're going to cost. So what that means is that they're looking for a starting point. There's nothing more embarrassing than calling someone up and saying, hey, I'd really love to hire you. Tell me all about your services. And then you get to the final part where you give them the price and like, oh, well, I thought it was going to be way less than that. That's not in my budget. And I'm not even talking about full staging services. I am talking about even just that consultation service sometimes and getting your foot in the door. So encourage them to call you, have a reason for them to contact you still, but have your pricing outlined, at least some of the basics on your website. Now, again, you don't have to put everything on your website. For example, we charge out of service area fees, but we don't list those online. We simply have a statement that outlines what our service area is and explains that anything outside of that area, additional fees may apply, and to contact us for details. So there are some things that you can leave to your internal files, but I highly recommend at the very least putting some starting pricing on your website. It will get that phone ringing so much more and entice people to hire you. Also, make sure that you have a super impactful website that really draws in people from the moment they land on it. So they want to spend some time on your website because remember, there's a whole lot of websites out there. I'm going to save that for another episode. But in the meantime, get your price list together, get your pricing onto your website, and get that phone ringing. Happy staging.